Baseball is a game of legends. Willie Mays, Babe Ruth, Ken Griffey, names that are etched in stone. But today, we're talking about the guys whose names are scribbled in pencil, lightly, and probably misspelled. These are Major League Baseball's one-hit wonders, players who shine bright for about a week, maybe a month, maybe even just one glorious game. They had their bright moment in the sun, and then, poof, they were gone. Think of them as like the Macarena of the MLB. Catchy and unforgettable, and then gone. Today we're going to break down the tales of players who look like the next big thing, until they weren't. Stats, stories, and some serious what the fuck happened moments. Let's jump right in. But before we get to our first player, I need you guys to like, comment, and subscribe to get more videos in the future. Alright, let's get into it. For the first player on this list, we're going all the way back to September 29th, 1963. Most baseball careers are measured in years, but John Paciorek, his entire Major League career lasted just one game, and it was perfect. On that beautiful day in 1963, an 18-year-old Paciorek got the call-up for Houston's final game of the season, and in his debut he stepped up to the plate 5 times, and he reached base every single time. That is 3 hits, 2 walks, 3 RBIs, and 4 runs scored. Good for a 1,000 batting average, which is statistically the greatest one-game career in MLB history. The future looked bright for Paciorek, but just as quickly as it began, it was over. Chronic back injuries ended his major league dreams before his next chance ever came, retiring at the age of 21. Paciorek is the example of a one-game wonder. He only had about 3 hours in the limelight, but boy did he make it count. Our next player takes us all the way to Arizona in August of 2021. Tyler Gilbert was making his first ever major league start and only his second major league appearance. However, on that day, Tyler Gilbert did the unthinkable, and it was something that almost no one had seen in over 60 years. On August 14th, 2021, the 27-year-old rookie took the mound for the Arizona Diamondbacks against the San Diego Padres, and by the end of the night, he had thrown a no-hitter, the first in a player's MLB debut start since 1953. He threw 9 innings with 5 strikeouts and only 3 walks, not giving up a hit or a run. Now this was only the 4th time in Major League history someone had done it, and the first one since Bobo Holloman in 1953. Now I'm going to pause real quick and just say that is an amazing name. Gilbert was a former Rule 5 pick who had worked for his father as an electrician during the pandemic. It was the kind of story baseball still does best and is loved by fans for that very reason. However, after this start, Gilbert would struggle to find his magic. After his debut, he struggled to recapture that same success, and over the next 2 seasons, he battled inconsistency as well as injuries. He moved between the majors and AAA, trying to find his footing. Fortunately, Gilbert has had success with the Chicago White Sox this year as a reliever. While his future in the big leagues, however, still remains uncertain, Gilbert has already done what thousands of players only dream about, a no-hitter in his very first start. Our next player involves yet another pitcher, and this one takes us to April 21st, 2012. One of the rarest moments in the sport's history came from one of its most unexpected pitchers. I am talking about Phillip Humber and his perfect game against the Seattle Mariners. Now, let's learn about Humber. Humber was a former first-round pick turned journeyman. He had taken the mound for the Chicago White Sox, and by the end of the game, he had thrown a perfect game, retiring all 27 batters he had faced against the Seattle Mariners. Humber was utterly brilliant, throwing 9 perfect innings with 9 strikeouts in under 100 pitches. This was only the 21st perfect game in MLB history, a nearly flawless outing from a pitcher who, until that point, had never even thrown a complete game. Humber was on top of the world, but in baseball, moments like that are fleeting. After the perfect game, Humber's career took a sharp downturn and more closely resembled his career up to that point. Over the rest of the 2012 season, his ERA ballooned to over 6. After the 2012 season, he was shipped to the Houston Astros, but the struggles continued. He finished the year with an 0-8 record and was released after the season. Humber had made a brief attempt at a comeback with the Korean Baseball Organization in 2015, but retired shortly after with even more struggles. He was just 33 years old. Though his time in the spotlight was brief, Humber's perfect game remains one of baseball's most unforgettable outliers, a reminder that greatness can come from the most unlikely places, even if just for a day. Our next player takes us all the way to 1994, and it is opening day for Major League Baseball. Now, opening day is my favorite day of the year. After spring training, you finally get to see all the rosters in their best possible forms taking the field in hopes of having a good 162-game season to please their fans and make the playoffs. However, for one player, He became a full-blown fairy tale that is still talked about to this day over 30 years later. The day is April 4th. Journeyman outfielder Tuffy Rhodes has stepped into the spotlight and into the history books. On this day, he launched 3 home runs off none other than Dwight freaking Gooden. He became the first player ever to hit 3 home runs on opening day. Cubs fans went wild. Tuffy looked like a star in the making. But, as we all know, baseball is very unpredictable. Tuffy would just hit 5 more home runs that entire season, and his MLB career only lasted 1 more year. But the story wasn't over. Tuffy had found new life in Japan, becoming a Nippon Professional Baseball League legend, hitting 464 career home runs, including 55 in 2001, tying the legendary Sadaharu Oh single-season record at the time. In America, he was a one-day wonder. However, in Japan, he's a power-hitting icon. Japanese fans to this day still recognize the name Tuffy Rhodes. He left his mark on baseball twice. All it took was 3 swings, 1 unforgettable day, and then a second act that became a legacy. Our last player is going to take us to what will coincide with the end of the MLB season, the playoffs. On October 16, 2014, the San Francisco Giants were 1 swing away from the World Series. Now let's play a game. Who do you think was at the plate for this? Not Buster Posey, not Hunter Pence, not even Pablo Sandoval, the Panda. Nope, it was Travis Ishikawa, a journeyman first baseman turned left fielder, a guy who had started the season without a major league job, a guy who had been released, re-signed, and spent most of the year in the minors, including my very own Pittsburgh Pirates earlier in the year. Come June of 2014, Ishikawa was seriously considering retirement. He had just been DFA'd by the Pirates, and he had bounced between 5 total organizations in the past 2 years. He was hitting in AAA parks while his kids asked when he'd be back in the big leagues. But baseball, being the glorious game that it is, gave him one more shot. Called up in late September, pressed him to duty in left field, a position he had barely played. He only had 9 career innings leading into his call-up with the Giants. Ishikawa now stood on the edge of history. With 2 runners on and 1 out, Ishikawa launched a fastball deep to right off Michael Wacha. No doubt, walk-off, Giants win the pennant. It was his first career walk-off home run, and it sent the Giants to the World Series. He became the first player since Bobby Thompson in 1951 to hit a walk-off homer to win the NL pennant. Ishikawa's career would soon fizzle after this, lasting only 1 more year in the majors. But for a player who was nearly out of baseball just months earlier, the moment was bigger than the game itself. It was redemption, validation, a dream realized on the biggest stage. Ishikawa didn't have a superstar career. He didn't even really have the career of a great MLB player. But he had a superstar moment, and sometimes that's all it takes to become a legend. Ishikawa is still held in high regard in the San Francisco area, where he receives loud cheers every time he shows up to the ballpark. In a league filled with legends and Hall of Famers, the stories of MLB's one-hit wonders remind us that sometimes all it takes is a single shining moment to etch your name into history. These players may not have had long careers or lasting fame, but their brief flashes of brilliance captured the magic and the unpredictability of baseball, where every game holds the chance for the extraordinary. So here's to the one-hit wonders, the unlikely heroes, the unexpected legends, and the unforgettable moments that remind us why we love this damn game so much. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more amazing baseball stories and highlights. I am Butler's Baseball Bits. See y'all next time.